Welcome to Book World with Karen Reborn. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Karen Reborn. In case you're new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel. And for the returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back and appreciating my content. On today's video, we are continuing with the analysis, the series that we've been bringing unto you. And today we are on the next story, and that is Ivory Bangles by Eric Ngamayo. So first of all, we're going to talk about the title as we continue with the episodic analysis. Kindly sit back, relax, and enjoy the analysis. So first, let me talk about the title, Ivory Bangles. The title captures the bangles that the wife wears. We are told in the story that the wife to the old man wears 24 ivory bangles that were found from after killing the elephant and then crafting them into the bangles that are very, very beautiful, that signifies the beauty of this woman and even symbolizes the love that the old man and the woman has together. So that is where we get the title, the Ivory Bangle. It was gifted to the wife by the old man. And then another thing that we are going to talk about is the characters in the book. We have the old man, we have the wife as the main characters in this book. And the old man is the chief's counselor. He's also a wood carver, as we can see that he went ahead and killed the elephant. That shows he's a hero. This man remains monogamous, marries one wife, and even doesn't want to add on to that. And the man loves the wife so much, as we can see in this video. Although it's unheard of in this society, and even at some point he was advised to marry another wife, which he doesn't agree to. Another thing that we can see that this man has never beaten his wife in a lifetime. The next character, we have the wife, who is considered so attractive. The husband even refers to the wife as a young girl, even in old age, and also is so much loved. And another thing that we see, that the old man treats this woman with affection. It's believed that for you to marry a woman and to live for a very long time, you have to molest the woman or you give them a ritual beating, which doesn't happen with this old man because of the love that he has for this woman. He doesn't at any point raise a hand on her. Another thing that we see, this woman is so cunning. Main characters in the book, and in the book we also see there's a character that has been mentioned, that is Ivory, the wife to the son of the old man, who was beaten by the husband. So that is that about characters in the book. To the next thing, let's talk about episodic analysis. And first of all, we are going to talk about a visit to the seer and the pebble demand. First, what we see in this book, the old man slaughters a goat, and out of that the old man finds some blood clot in the liver of that goat. He is now forced to go to look for a seer, to visit a seer, and to hear more about this. The seer explains something about the pebbles demand, that from the blood clots that were found on the liver, it demanded something from this old man. The old man comes home and shares the moments with the wife. Coming home troubled, wondering what he can do about the situation after the seer told him about the pebbles demand, the old man comes home and meets the wife, who shares very good moments with him by preparing food and letting him eat first before delivering the news. And another thing that we can see in this book, there is a lot of flashback. The naming ceremony, and the man had to gift the wife with some ivory bangles. Another thing that we see, that after reminiscing about the old life that they used to live together as a couple, it also shows so much love that they had for each other. Then after talking about whatever the seer told the old man is now forced to tell it to the wife. They talk about it and they also share some intimate moment together. And after that, we see that the wife comes up with a scheme to lie to the spirits. This scheme was, the lady was supposed to pretend that she's crying and going back home to his brother's home, crying and say that the husband has beaten her, and also the husband has sent her away. And because of that, the wife tries to make a scheme of this. She goes to the market, and at the marketplace, she hears about whatever has been happening, the rumors about the elephants roaming the place in the market, and even the scouts warning people against going to the plains, against going outside, because the elephants were approaching, the 6 of them. So even after the wife hears about this, she doesn't heed to this. She goes ahead with the scheme or the plan that she had of deceiving the spirits, and comes home, prepares meal and prepares the children, and the wife now meets his death on the plains. A wounded elephant comes and kills the wife. In short, that is the episodic analysis from the beginning to the end, on how everything happens until the demise of the woman. Another thing that I'm not going to talk about, we have noticed that in this book there are a lot of traditions. Number one thing there is belief in the seer. When the blood clots on the liver, the first thing that crossed his mind was going to meet a seer. So they believed on visiting a seer. They believed on going there. And we can also read, the words of the seer were alarming. He had a deep-seated suspicion of the seer, but he was a tribal seer, a priest of the people, and he had to go to him for consultations after he noticed the blood specks on the liver of a goat he had slaughtered. The seer's pebbles said someone was going to die. The pebbles said a wife was going to die. The pebbles said the spirits were jealous of a happy wife, a woman unmolested by her husband until old age, until she was called grandmother. So this old man, goes to the seer, and that is the response that the old man gets from the seer. Under traditions, we have believing on the seer. Another thing that we are talking about is the ritual of beating and molesting of a wife. The pebbles disclose that the spirits were jealous of a happy wife, unmolested to old age. Also aspect of tradition and culture in the ritual beating. The seer answers to this man and tells him that what you need to do is just to give your wife a ritual beating, in order that no one is going to die after doing that. So they believe that if you do that, you're going to escape. Failure to do that, there are also repercussions that are attached to it. So we get to see that. And also the son of the old man embraces the culture and tradition. And we see this when the Ivory were at the plain. They talked about it, and the wife reminisces about this occurrence when the son had to beat the wife, having to beat the wife to the fingernails distance to her grave. So this means that this son embraced this so much, and the tradition, and he followed them with all his heart, and he did that the same thing to the wife. Another thing that we are going to talk about under tradition is the naming of children. We get to see, I introduced that at the beginning, talking about the ivory bangles. During the naming of children, it was viewed as something that is an essential. And during that time, the old man gives his wife the ivory bangles during their child naming ceremony. And again, we also see that the old man's grandson is also named after the old man. Polygamy in the society. The old man is talked about for having only one wife. He doesn't agree to it and gives a riddle which is interpreted later. The woman went to the riverside. The woman wanted to fetch water. The woman had one water pot. The woman arrived at the water point. The woman found another water pot. The woman came back home with a pot. The woman brought back a water pot with potsherds in, not water. The old man roars with laughter. Then this was the interpretation of the riddle: a wife, a co-wife, witchcraft, and death. He considers having more than one wife as witchcraft. That is what we get from this riddle. So this man, even though he's an old man, even though he's a chief's counselor, even though he works with the chief and is an old man who is so known in that place, he still doesn't agree to it and considers polygamy as witchcraft. Another thing that I'm going to talk about is love. There is love that is seen in this book. Old man coming and gifting the wife with the ivory bangles, that shows love. And this ivory bangle symbolizes the love that they had for each other. And again, we see during the time the old man was so troubled on coming back home, before talking to the wife was calmly and welcomed the man in a very caring way by giving the husband food first before even getting to talk about it. And what does the husband do in return? The husband here tells the woman that your cooking is so good, and the husband also calls the woman girl. This shows that there was so much love between the two. Human, wildlife, and conflict. There is wildlife and conflict. The old woman talks about having to get the ivory from an elephant after shooting it with a poisoned arrow. Let's read it. Your wife is comely, the chief had told him. We are your subjects, chief. She's very comely in the many ivory bangles she wears. I made them, sir, and the ivory was from the elephant I shot with a talks openly about having to shoot the elephant with a poisoned arrow and getting the ivory from it. So there is also wildlife, human wildlife conflict that we can see there. Another thing that we can talk about is the aspect of people believing at the marketplace. People believed that someone who knows how to shoot the elephant with poisoned arrow was going to save the situation when the elephant had evaded the place when they were on the plain. So it means that this is a practice that they're used to. This is something that they know. They doesn't care about the wildlife. Elephant that its ivory was used to make bangles that symbolizes love kills the wife. Love is shattered by the same creature whose ivory was used to make symbols of love. As I've said, under love, I've talked about using the ivory to symbolize love during the naming ceremony, giving it to the wife, and now she's killed by the same elephant. So we get to see that there's also some it's ironical. We can call it ironical because it's the same thing that brought love or was used to symbolize love to her, the same thing that leads to her demise. So that is what we get to see from there. And then also there is failure to heed to advice and its consequences. We see at the beginning there was that time when the chief told the man about having to give the wife a ritual beating in order to be safe, in order not to die. But the old man refuses, and after refusing, the wife meets her death. The wife was cunning and came out with a scheme about lying and going back home, just as I've said. But this didn't work because it was not possible for the woman to deceive the spirits. So even though they came up with a cunning scheme on how to escape, they could not escape the consequences, which was stated here that the consequences of the end was going to be death. He even thought of appeasing these spirits in another way. I will give any number of goats. He was willing to offer anything, but this was not accepted. As the people said, he had to give his wife a thorough beating. The people said he had to send her to her parents after beating. There was nothing else that he could do to escape this wrath. So that is what we get to see in this book. I hope you have enjoyed this book. In case you have any question that you want us to discuss, kindly consider posting it on the comment section and I'll get to answer you. And if there are some questions that you also want me to analyze, kindly let me know. If there's a story, there's a book that you want me to talk about, kindly comment it down below and I'll consider doing it. So thank you so much for watching until this point, and we're going to close it there. So kindly subscribe to my channel, share my video to your friends, to your aunties, to your uncles, to your cousins, to your students, to your one that is going to be part of this family. Ensure that you bring more people to this channel. So let's end it there, and thank you so much for watching my video, and let's meet in the next video. Bye.